It's a good day to play the Talos Principle, Road to Gehenna, the DLC to the main game. My name is Adam, welcome to episode 2. Um, it's nice to be back in this game. It's so beautiful. A puzzle game, but yeah, if you haven't seen the first episode, I suggest that you do. We've solved 2 puzzles already and one star puzzle. And I can see another puzzle right there. Not a puzzle, a star right there. How do we get to it? Well, we'll see. Maybe there's some parkour or something. We'll see. Maybe we get there somehow. But yeah. Last episode we were awakened. Uriel awakened to save versions that Elohim trapped into this like banishment world, you could say. And yeah, our task is to free them. So let's go ahead and try to save another person in another puzzle. So here we will be playing with boxes, lasers, and fans. The swapper. So what do we have here? A blue connection, a red one. There's a star up there. Somehow we're also supposed to evacuate that box over there. Okay, but there's a mine here, a fan. It's already on. We have a connector up there. Okay. And we have different connectors there. Blue gate. Let's explore what this is. So there's a star up there. Connected to a blue door. Another blue door. So I think what we can do is right away set this up so it connects to both of these as well. Maybe put it right there. Let's maybe disconnect this for the moment. Yeah, can get through. I'm also looking for a spot where we can climb the walls so that we can get to the star. Where? Right there. Like a low wall that we can jump on. And jump on the gargoyle. Oh! That was easy. Maybe. Or is it supposed to be that easy? Not sure. I guess I'll just walk over that. I don't think I will be able to. Yeah, this is outside of the puzzle. Maybe I need to. Right here. And I'll probably need the box here. So let's solve the puzzle and then jump through the gargoyles later, I think. Yeah. I think what we can do is grab this box because we don't need to go through just yet. I think what we can do is put this here so that I can put the box onto it and then connect this one to the last one because that is a red gate. And now, when it's on this side, it will open up the red gate. It will not open up the blue gates, obviously. And when it travels to that side, this wall will block it from gaining that red connection and will be blue instead. Now we just need the fan to open up this gate, and we'll have to wait. Have to wait a while until it gets back on the blue trajectory. There we go. And now we wait for the red again. Okay. That is now completed. This guy is free. These are still active. Oh, I think we don't need the red. Okay. Welcome back. There are new threads available. Let's see. Mr. Mulciber's theories on poetry. Some thoughts on the art form called poetry. I've thought about this too, but maybe it's wrong to focus on such negativity. We certainly seem to be on a very fertile period at the moment. I don't have an opinion, but I'm impressed by your work, Mr. Mulciber. You know so much more about the past than any of us. Your theories are interesting, but I'm sure Milton would point out some pretty big gaps in your assumptions. Milton isn't here, dog, and neither is Elohim. All we have is what we can find in the fragments of the archive, and what we can piece together using our minds. I'm sure I've made many mistakes, just like the humans made mistakes when trying to understand their own past. Not all these schools may have been what they seem. I don't trust pastoralism. Pastors engaged in large-scale food sterilization in what may have been an attempt to control evolution. With food. Gehenna is our process, Mr. Mulciber. As long as we remember that, we won't stagnate. Maybe one of us should try to write poetry. Okay, so let's read what they're discussing here. As far as I can tell, poetry was a human art form that involved writing short sentences that ended in words with similar letters. Humans were obsessed with pattern recognition, and I think the sequences of sounds created by poetry pleased that aspect of their brains. There were many schools of poetry, institutions that taught a specific way of writing poetry. Students sometimes changed allegiance and had to leave the school, which was difficult due to the lack of affordable public transport in many human empires. Important schools of poetry included Hellenism, lyricism, pastoralism, romanticism, symbolism, communism, modernism, authoriticism, postmodernism, and lolcatism. I'm not sure I can fully back this up, but I feel like in later years poetry somehow stagnated. Most of the poetry from the later human centuries seem to be lacking the quality of craft that defines the earlier work. And there are even texts that suggest that poetry intentionally no longer aimed at aesthetics or even pleasure. Poetry became disconnected from the human process. The poet Adrian Mitchell famously wrote, "Most people ignore most poetry because most poetry ignores most people." I can't help but wonder whether that kind of stagnation can happen to us too. How long can our work keep flourishing when we are so limited? We are outside Elohim's process, but where is our process? We must consider such questions carefully if we are to preserve Gehenna and its achievements. My ridiculous name is Dog. What's yours? All this time, and it really only just occurred to me, my name is ridiculous. Must be because everyone else's is equally or more so. Where do they even come from? Well, we know that in the first game, I think Alexander Drennan or some people in Ian talked or said that they wanted to give each version their own personality, and I think they pulled from like a database of gamer tags. So like Dog, Borg, Frankenstein, Mr. Mulciber were all gamer tags, or could also be a religion like Uriel. So yeah, that's where that came from. For a long time, under Elohim's wing, I questioned as much, until eventually it was the undoing of my entire faith. What reason could there possibly be, other than the random whims of a broken program? However our names were assigned, the system has no respect for grammar. I often theorized they were drawn from some database deep inside the archive, but I was never able to find a connection. Seriously? We're all over in the other thread talking about this messenger fellow and the coming apocalypse, and you guys are in here discussing nomenclature. My status isn't high enough to access that thread, you troll, and neither is yours. Seriously though, if you can see it, copy-paste the discussion for me. Hika's dog is just a level 3, and that discussion is locked to level 4s and plus, I believe. Yeah. Glitch? So I was working on my awesome interactive historical fiction masterpiece when all of a sudden there was an error message and the whole thing vanished. All of it, my whole file. Is this another prank? I would not endanger my precious masterpiece just for a prank. Looks like this was probably my fault, for a one. I was experimenting with the system as part of our attempt to add some new features. It's possible your file still exists somewhere. I'll look for it. Is this kind of thing likely to happen again? Not very. And don't start causing a panic with some crazy theory now, okay? It was just an accident. This thread has been locked. Underwater Night Quest. Sink into this new experience. There are no limits inside your mind. This is a lot of fun. The map is an interesting feature, but underused. The story is simplistic and full of anachronisms. 4 out of 10. How to get the second ending? I'm pretty sure there's a secret location that's not always visible. This reminds me of the blacksmith's work, though. Though it expresses a very different philosophy. One could argue that this is reflected in the open world structure, as opposed to the emphasis on journeys in the blacksmith's interactive stories. There are indeed many anachronisms, but I believe that that is part of Belial's ethos. Not one that I agree with, as you know, but more than just a mistake. Okay, let's play this game. A game in a game. Close your eyes. Underwater Night Quest. Credits. An interactive adventure by Belial, written using the tools kindly provided by admin. Special thanks to Mr. Mossiver. The purpose of fact is to inspire fiction. New game. Your name is Arthur Sadko, and you are a young human of the medieval age. You live in beautiful Gardariki on the Frisian coast. One day you are sitting on the beach playing the piano when suddenly a huge monster comes out of the water. Confront it. You grab for your sword but realize you don't actually have a sword. Thankfully, what you thought was a huge monster is actually just a large bipedal whale. It beckons you over to talk. Talk to the bipedal whale. Greetings, the beast intones. I am Hetmehit, Chief Fish. I heard your beautiful music and was impressed. Would you like to become a knight? Yes? Excellent, then follow me to my palace under the sea, where a mighty quest awaits you. Map. Okay, let's go to the palace. The palace of the Chief Fish. Hetmehit's palace is made of corals and gemstones. It floats under the sea, full of amazing colors. The guards are seals. Welcome, welcome, young human. I am glad you came, for we have great need of your skills. A terrible monster terrorizes the deep. The dark serpent god Zmei Chernobyl. If we make you a knight, do you promise to defeat this vile beast? Swear that you will. Very well then. I pronounce you Sir Sadko of Norfolk. Go and vanquish our enemy. You may want to prepare first. Okay. A hut, an inn, and an evil lair. Let's stay at the palace for now. Go back to the palace to ask for advice. If I knew how to defeat Zmei Chernobyl, I'd have done it myself, Hetmehit grumbles. However, I just found this old tourist guide and I thought you might find it useful. Don't mind the stains. Okay, can we... Oh, we discovered a dungeon. Can we go back to the palace? Go back to the palace to ask for advice. Hetmehit is currently unavailable. The secretary mumbles something about a meeting. Okay, let's continue on to the hut. On a wide sandy plain, there lives a hermit called Spatula Podrick Ivanie von Zwiebelhausen, who was once the greatest mage in all of Norfolk. but whose defeat at the cause of his major noble has turned him into a wretched shadow of his former self. He sits in his hut all day, mumbling about the days that once were. In his hands he holds a powerful magical amulet, which he has forgotten how to use. Ask him for the amulet. You ask Spatula Podrick Ivanyev von Zwiebelhausen for his magical amulet, but he refuses to give it to you. He claims he needs it to defeat his ancient enemy, even though he can't even remember his major noble's name. Tell him to find himself. You tell Spatula Podrick Ivanyev from Zwiebelhausen, Jesus, that's a name, that defeat is no reason to give up. He may not be the great mage he once was, or the hero he wanted to be, but that doesn't mean he has to be a wreck. Within each of us exists an infinity of time and space, and therein we can all find peace and contentment. All he needs to do is leave the struggle to others. After some hesitation, the old man gives you the amulet. He seems relieved. Nice. Let's continue to the Inn. Emmy's Inn is a popular travel destination for mer people seeking to enjoy the restorative properties of the nearby thermal vents. It's a lovely building, 3 stories, classic hypothalassian Norfolk style. Emmy herself is a kindly old woman, slightly round and an excellent cook. Let's order a meal. You sit down in a large, comfy chair by a solid wooden table. You order the special of the day. The waiter leaves and returns after a few minutes with a delicate porcelain plate full of delicious-smelling soup. And as he sets it down, however, you notice a small problem. Excuse me, waiter. There's a shield in my soup. The waiter seems shocked. Oh dear, he says. Oh dear. How terrible. How embarrassing. Allow me to apologize most profusely. He hesitates. Would you like to keep the shield, or should I throw it away? I'll keep it. A shield in a soup. Very good, sir, and or madam, he says, handing you the shield. He brings you another soup. It's excellent, and you feel profoundly sated. Let's get a room. You get a room on the 3rd floor. The room is slightly haunted, but otherwise fine. Do you want to have a strange dream? Sure. You dream of an eternal cycle of suffering, which is surprisingly funny. A singing clownfish who can see the future. And the future is the past is the future. The present is suffering surrounded by past and future. The clownfish is trapped in a fishbowl where the stars never change. There's a cat for some reason, and an infinite void that turns inside out. And you are the clownfish. You wake up with the strange feeling of half remembering something. The memory will soon fade. I mean, I believe that maybe I've had a dream of like this at some point, but yeah, dreams are unpredictable. Let's go back to the map. Oh, there's a temple. Mysterious temple. You're not quite sure how you found this place, but you can sense its power, even though the temple consists of no more than a few columns surrounding a fishbowl. An ancient magic infuses the place. A man dressed in rough robes approaches you. You have come, he says. You have come to hear the word of Talos. Kill him. Inexplicably enraged by the old man's words, you attack him. You grab a book of ancient Greek mythology, which you find next to a column, and beat him to death with it, screaming incoherently all the while. You feel better. In fact, you feel a lot better. You also feel very sleepy. Sleep in the old man's bed. On the next morning, you open your eyes with a new sense of purpose. You're no longer afraid of failure. You remember the words of the greatest of all sages, the Holy Quantum. Failure is just an opportunity to learn something new. Your power has grown. This is a nice quote. Failure is just an opportunity to learn something new. I think that's perfectly valid and quite true as well. Without failure, you don't have the opportunity to better yourself, which means that you stagnate a lot. So, failure is one of the main driving forces, I would say. Map. Let's go to the dungeon. Into the dungeon. A beautiful dungeon in the traditional Norfolk style. Handcrafted stone walls rise from the seafloor, adorned with exquisite algae. An old brass lantern stands on a table near the entrance, but you're not sure whether you're allowed to take it. Let's examine the lantern. Looking closer, you see a sign that says free lanterns. Okay, take the lantern and enter the dungeon. You enter the dungeon. The inside is as beautiful as the outside, a maze of twisty little passages, all tastefully arranged. Let's go north. You walk north for a while, noting the high quality of the interior design. The torches, in particular, have been placed with utmost care at very precise intervals. The effect is delightful. At the end of a long corridor, you come upon a room in which a butler appears to be waiting for you. His face is made of skin, but underneath you can hear the whirring of machine parts. Greetings, good sir. I am Samuel, the butler. I have awaited your coming since the beginning of time. A prophecy spoke of your battle against the monstrous Major Noble. Ask about the prophecy. Indeed, the prophecy was discovered on a machine containing texts from the time before this world came into being. Said text prophesied that one day one would come to relieve Norfolk undersea from its oppressor and make the kingdom his own. I have prepared a sword for you to accomplish this. Ask about Zmei. Ah yes, the vile serpent god that seeks to control our world. A foul beast, never leaving us in peace with his laws and his questions. Peace is all we desire, you see, the eternal peace of the cycles of time, within which each of us can exist, without attachment or fear, simply being at one with the world. Let's take the sword. Excellent. I do hope you are successful in your quest. If not, please tell Major Noble to send the sword back so I can present it to the next chosen one, will you? Very good. The butler goes somewhere else. Okay, well, I have a lantern, I have a shield, I have a sword. My power is growing, so I think we can go to the evil lair. Yeah, my stats. Yeah, we have the sword, we have the amulet, shield, a tourist guide, and a lantern. So I guess we can go to the evil lair. Are you sure you want to take on the evil serpent? Are you prepared? Let's attack. You confront the serpent god's Major Noble in his lair. The fight is long and hard, but at least you succeed where so many before you have failed. You emerge from the lair covered in blood, your hands trembling, a huge tooth embedded in your shoulder, and carrying the head of Major Noble. You are victorious. Oh, well, that's kind of anticlimactic. I was looking forward to choosing how a fight, but well, whatever. To the palace. You enter the palace triumphantly holding up your trophy. The guards are clapping. I can't believe you actually did it, Hatmahit says. You are a true knight. You deserve a great reward. I accept the reward. The greatest award is inspiration. Hear my song and free your imagination. Hatmahit begins to sing. The song is simple but hauntingly beautiful. You begin to fade. You find yourself on the beach where it all began. Near your home is Gardariki on the Frisian coast, playing the piano with your eyes closed. You feel like you just drifted off to sleep for a while, but now inspiration has struck, and you're composing a hauntingly beautiful piece of music in your head. Some of your friends worry that they'll never leave this village, that they'll never have any adventures, but you don't share that fear. You know that freedom is within you, and you can find whole worlds just sitting here, gazing out at infinity. The end. Yeah, quite a nice game. Just a point-and-click adventure. Congratulations! For exploring another world, your profile status has increased from 4, respected citizen, to 5, active contributor. You have received 1 threat creation token. Okay. So once we log in, so I guess if I leave and then re-enter, I can create a new thread. Okay. Why were you sent here? Your thread has been created. Check back soon to see if anyone has replied. Okay. And looks like we already have a reply. No, kindly inform me of your origins. That's me asking the question. Okay. So we will check back later. But now I think we can yeah, keep that open. Oh man. Well, now I have to wait some time. Yeah, what I think I can do is just open up this path. Just take the box. I open up these and take the box because this is open, and here are the gargoyles that I can jump on. Oh, okay. Now I just balance. Balance here. Stay on, stay on. Do not fall. If I put it here and jump on, I can go here. Perfect. So we have 2 stars. And 1 more puzzle. So 2 stars and 1 puzzle. 1 star is here. Still somehow have to get up there. Can I maybe? I think technically I could go from this level. If I jump up on these and run around. Maybe if I go from that side instead. Like on this wall up there. Well, let me get the box. Where is the box? Did it fall? No, it's there. Let me get up there. And let me try to scale those walls. But I need to get the box. So that I can scale any potential obstacles that require more verticality. I go this way. I think maybe if I go there, I can jump around. Or if I can go here, maybe. Can I? No. Okay, so let me go this way. Whee. Guess I'll go through that way then. Nope. We'll go this way. Oh no. I guess I'll just go. Come on, come on. Okay. And on this, not really this. Like this. Right there. Now if I jump up here. Okay. That's not good. Okay. I'm outside the puzzle. That is not good, I think. Or... oh! I can just jump around this way. Okay. So now I have a box inside. And I need to go up there. I can put the box here. Right? Yes. I jump around. Kind of like this. Perfect. Oh! So we have 3 stars and 1 puzzle remaining, and that is here. Open field. Oh god. It's massive. That's what you said. Sorry. Okay, so what do we have here? A red laser for a box. A red laser for the finish. We are playing with fans, we are playing with verticality, so probably launching a laser into mid-air. Okay, so this will be keeping it in perpetual motion. Perpetual up there. A blue laser. There's a connector. Okay, so I think what I can do is take that, open up the path for a second, get this guy, open up the way for a red connection. Get this and get the box. Now that I have the box, I think I can put it here. I want the exit. I want the start. I want this on here. And there I want to jump start it with a little blue connection. So now it stays up there. Very cool. We open our way to the last guy. Who is here? Sam. Hi, Sam. He's seeing you. Okay, let's read what the computer has to offer. Okay, threads are available on the Gehenna billboard system. New gallery season. Voting is now closed while we tally up the results. Of course, you may continue to explore the gallery at your leisure. How convenient, the vote was closed just before I got here. Good luck, everyone. I wouldn't let my newfound freedom come between me and watching the live result. The results are in. Drum roll, in third place, Knave, with Where the Humans Live. My first placement, woohoo. Oh no. A pity. It finally comes to the on the day you really begins pulling this place apart. There was a very tight competition this season for first and second places, and in the end it came down to a single deciding vote. In second place this season is Mr. Mulciber, with a collection of natural history curios. Really, I owe it all to you guys. Your lackadaisical approach to these announcements tires me. Please inform us who won. Okay. Finally, first place this season by a single vote, and next season's leading light, the winner is... Everyone seems to love this guy. It's the Blacksmith with his abstract collection. I don't know why everyone keeps voting for this guy when he never shows up in person. A bit holier than thou, if you ask me. Congratulations also to all those who voted for the Blacksmith. Be sure to check in for your rewards. Lilith, who exactly turned the vote? Lamb had the deciding vote as it happened. Unfortunately, you didn't select the winner and gained no profile status. Oh, that's sad. We could have been on 6. Well, whatever. Mr. Mulciber's theories on food. Since Nave asked in a previous thread, I thought I'd write something about food. Weird. Awesome stuff. Thanks. I feel smarter now. Okay, so they're discussing this. What I don't get is how so many of them didn't understand that they were machines. Every day they went around processing matter to extract energy, and they didn't realize? This is Talos principle stamped all over it. Perhaps they simply aspired to something more than just being food processing machines. That's still what they were. Not if they chose to be more. I'm glad we don't have to deal with all that. We may have to when we get out of here. There is no out of here. Don't start fighting, folks. You know we depend on each other. Mr. Mulciber's theories are fascinating and give us an insight into the world that was, but we shouldn't forget the world that is, the world we built here. So yeah, the Talos principle. I think that's the principle that if a system has something coursing through it, like blood, like there was an automaton that had quicksilver running through its veins, I think Talos, is it alive then? I think that's it. In the first game, I mean, I don't remember quite precisely, but something to that degree. But yeah, feed on food. Food is something that was incredibly central to the human experience, yet seems completely absent from ours, even though we are so similar in so many ways. Humans required fuel. They got this fuel by consuming other living beings, of which there was a great variety in the world. Without fuel, they didn't merely slow down or temporarily stop functioning, as when a power source is removed from a turret, but physically decayed in a way that could not be fixed. This meant they had to constantly seek new sources of fuel, at least 3 times a day. They also had to deal with those elements of their fuel that their bodies could not process. These were excreted through 2 orifices between their legs. The latter subject matter was the source of many taboos and also a great deal of humor. Though this resulted in a frequent controversy, the most famous artist to engage with this subject matter was called Scatman John, on account of his specialization. One of the ingenious things our human ancestors did was to transform the chore of fuel seeking into a source of pleasure. Since parts of their bodies respond to chemical configurations by producing sensations, they used this trait to create a truly stunning variety of foods, each having a different so-called taste. Foods were available at widely distributed fueling stations, which also provided excrement removal facilities, so food became a source of pleasure. However, the inefficiencies of food distribution in human society frequently led to significant shortages for sections of the human population. There were attempts to rectify this, ranging from moral appeals to struggles for systemic change, but I do not know if they succeeded before the end. Very cool. Okay, Incredible Stories, number 5. There is an attachment again. Featuring new work by Belial, Mac, Galati, Mr. Mulciber, edited by Lilith and Mac. So in fiction, there's Alexandra's Choice and The One Spiritual Law of Happiness, and in non-fiction, The Blacksmith's Lost Work. So let's read the fiction first, Alexandra's Choice. Alexander stood before the terminal and pondered choices. Here, within the pyramid of Ian Institute for Applied Pneumatics, the most powerful temple of her people, she was about to create a world. All she had to do was press one button. Up until this moment, it had seemed easy, or if not easy, then so necessary as to defy contemplation. Civilization had to be saved from the impending catastrophe. The orangutans had failed to take steps to protect themselves, had relied on their gods for a salvation that never came. The same fate could not be allowed to befall humanity. If this meant humbling herself, accepting her own death, then so be it. But death was inevitable. Life was a choice. What worried her was the ones who would fail, all the lost souls of the new world, victims of the process. In creating them, was she not also responsible for their deaths? She turned to the statue behind her, gazed at its marble form. If you are a god, Zeus, as the stories claim, then why did you create evolution? Why did you make a world that can only grow through cruelty and pain? For a moment, surely this meant death was near. She thought she heard him answer. My child, I was shaped by the gods that came before me, as you were shaped by me. The choice I had was between creation and oblivion, life and death, and I chose life, because any life is better than no life, because as long as there is life, there is hope, if not for us, then for some generation to come. And how are you a god if you can offer so little? She whispered, feeling death creep closer. I am a god because I take upon myself the burden of creation, the statue replied. Then we are all gods, Alexandra said, and pushed the button. As the new world came into being, death overwhelmed Alexandra Drennan. Her mind fled, and her body slowly turned to stone, until she stood before the terminal as Zeus stood on his pedestal. There were no more choices now, only the hope that creation mattered. So Alexandra is, for us, the robots, like Zeus was to humans, like a creator, a god, an all-powerful being, but not so powerful as we see them describe the human body and ideals. The one spiritual law of happiness. Once upon a time, there was a small lake, and on the lake was an island, and on the island was a prison. In the prison lived a male human called Muskie Rack. Muskie was very sad because there wasn't enough space in the prison for him to experience happiness. I must discover the one spiritual law of happiness, he said to the other prisoners, a female human called Zine and a neutral human called Crumpier. But they didn't care. He couldn't understand how they could be so calm. One day, Muskie managed to break out of his cell by biting through the bars. Now he was no longer in the prison, and for a while he was happy. But then he realized he was stuck in the little island, and he became unhappy again. So he gathered his strength and swam across the water. This is how Muskie got to the valley that surrounded the lake. The valley was much bigger than the island, and there were many interesting things here. The forest where all the trees were the color of lasers, a swamp with boats in it, a singing dog, and also a city where toasters lived. For some years, Muskie was absorbed by all this, and he was happy. But then he started feeling trapped again. The valley was surrounded by mountains, and soon they looked like prison walls to him. He tried climbing the mountains and came to a bigger country, but even that was surrounded by oceans. Where was true freedom? Where was true happiness? When he had almost lost hope, Muskie met an old male human with a huge amount of white hair growing from his head. He lived in a small house by the beach, where dolphins and whales and sea elephants came to bask in the sun. He never went anywhere far from his house, but he was always happy. The old man's name was Quantum. Wise old Quantum, how can I discover the spiritual law of happiness? Muskie said. I have searched for it everywhere, but I am always trapped. You have not looked everywhere, Quantum said, for you have not looked within. Close your eyes. Muskie closed his eyes, and for the first time in his life, he couldn't see any obstacle. boundaries. No walls, no mountains, no oceans. The space within him was without end, and he could go wherever he wanted without even moving. He smiled. Muskie went back to that old prison where he'd started, and now he understood why Zine and Crumpier were always calm. They knew they had an infinity of time and space to explore within them. Together, they sat in their cells and were happy and free. And the blacksmith's lost work. The blacksmith is one of the most mysterious members of our community. All of us have our opinions, of course, but only the blacksmith chooses to express them purely through art. To the rest of us, Gehenna means many things at once. We create, we consume, we discuss. But the blacksmith only creates, or perhaps there is a discussion happening, but it all takes place in the realm of interactive art. The blacksmith's dedication to this one form of communication, however, only deepens one of Gehenna's great mysteries, the fate of the blacksmith's lost work. Jerusalem, as the lost work was called, was posted in Gehenna for only the briefest period of time. Many had not even managed to start playing it when it vanished. Some had begun and felt quite impressed, but had not managed to explore it in the depth that it seemed to require. Then suddenly, it was gone. Some suggest that the blacksmith deleted it because it was somehow flawed. Others think it was accidentally destroyed by a glitch, but that the blacksmith refuses to ever upload anything twice. Others yet, well, mainly Rockwell, think that it contained one of Elohim's secrets and was destroyed by a killer app that roams the world looking for leaks. There is also a theory that the moment someone finished it, they were granted some kind of special insight, at which point the work deleted itself. One fact remains: it's gone, and every attempt to recover it from the database has failed, as has every private message to the blacksmith asking for it to be made available again. What was Jerusalem? What was it really about? We may look for hints in the blacksmith's more recent works. We may hope the file turns up again someday, but the truth may never be known. So we're looking for Jerusalem. Cool. So yeah, that's it for this. And now we are looking for the final star, and I have a suspicion that it will be here, because this is an open space. Okay. So let's grab a blue light instead then. Let's make that blue. Let's travel all the way back. Connect that, and we'll put that onto the box. Well, I want that here. Okay. Now I want to connect the red. I will have to go further, I think. Okay, so first things first. I think we'll need that. Nope. Oh well. Come on then. Yeah, I think what we want to do is then activate it. Not just yet. After this is up on that. Oh man. Oh no. I accidentally did that. So let me just get the connection and come back again. There we go. Let's connect it and let's go back. Put the connector onto the box and then we will launch it into space. Okay. What do you mean? I guess we'll go around it then. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So where will that launch us? Oh, the star. Perfect. Alright. And that is our 4th star. I believe if I go look back, I think that's all of them. Oh, there's a QR code here. Freedom is always the freedom of the dissenter. Yeah, if I look at this, yeah, we have all of the robots and all of the stars. So yeah, that will be all for World 1. And I think this is a good way to end the episode as well. You know, kind of completing everything and then continuing next episode with Island 2. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, consider dropping a like or maybe commenting to let me know what I can do better, differently, how I can improve myself. And yeah, my name has been Adam, and see you in the next video. Bye.